Very, very, how should I say, disappointed in our performance, not defensively. Georgia State is a high-scoring team in our league. I think one of the top 4 or 5. And, they're shooting 40% from the field. The problem is, again, I don't need to tell you, we can't make shots. And that's a very frustrating thing. And what's happening is as I see it, is when our kids are not shooting the ball well, it's letting the rest of their game be affected. And earlier in the game, I think Imani had 5 made shots in the first half, and he has 5 made at the end of the second half. So basically, he didn't score in the second half. And we are not hitting shots from the outside to open it up for him. And if I'm looking at it, I guess we are 2 for 15 from the 3, and that is not going to get it done. The other night we were 7 for 30 from the 3. But I addressed the team and said, what I'm disappointed is that the effort's got to be better. Like, for example, on the defensive end, when they drive the baseline, we were taking charges or at least trying more to take charges in weeks or in earlier games. We are not doing that as much now. And I am frustrated with that, very frustrated with that. If we shoot 29% and lose this game, say, for example, 43-41 or 45-41, that's a different story.
Coach, can you give me your general assessment of what the team that beat these guys in overtime there to now? Can you tell me what hasn't transpired since then? You guys.
Well, here's what we were doing. We were 6-3 at Christmas. We start off with a victory, 7-3. We played Georgia Southern right down to the wire. And played and shot in the low 30s, but Georgia Southern wins that game in the last minute. They're in first place right now. And a loss like that, which makes us 7-4, doesn't get to us. Now we've lost whatever it is, 2 of the last 9. And as I told him right now, I said, I need some leadership from you guys. I got to have the leadership internal. I can tell you that you're right there, but some of you have got to help pick this team up. It's got to come from within this locker room if we're going to turn this thing around. So I would tell you that we are lacking some confidence. We are lacking some leadership. And when like I said, it's easy to be a leader when things are going positive. It's very difficult to be a leader when things are going negative. And we have to come to practice. And for example, yesterday's practice was a very short, after a quick turnaround, 11 o'clock game. So, I just told him, I said, we're not going to prepare for these guys as much as we have for others simply because of the circumstances involving the game. Your effort in sticking to fundamentals is what's going to win if we're going to beat these guys. In fairness to Georgia State, let me go back and say this. I do think they're playing some good basketball now. I do. They're winning a lot of games. After we beat them, they lost several games right after that. That's why I was talking to Ron Hunter. He goes, we had our confidence crisis there earlier in the year. We need a win, to answer your question. And when I looked at this part of the schedule and I saw UTA, Georgia State, Lafayette at Lafayette, I thought this was going to be a very tough go for us. Because at that time, everybody thought Georgia State had one loss. Everybody thought they may run the table again. Obviously, they have not.